Wilson and Miranda, and of course Leroy. And thank you guys for sharing your story with us. We're very excited that through Jacobs Canine Vet Kit, we were able to help you, a veteran, Army, correct?
Correct.
Get a service dog. So, Miranda, you had first contacted me 2 years ago when y'all first got Leroy as a puppy, wanting the training. What made you feel like your husband may have needed a service dog?
I noticed how, well, he had PTSD, anxiety, and some depression. And I noticed even as a puppy, when we first got Leroy from the shelter, how he would trigger on Wilson's emotions.
Okay.
And how he just, even prior to training, I noticed how he would
Help me out.
Yeah, help him out, right.
And when he would go into his depression or PTSD,
Or go into his head, as you said.
go into his head,
Right.
as they call it, Leroy would get him out of it.
Okay. But there was a certain incident that you said, well, when you first contacted me, I said, we can do it, but is your husband ready to train the dog? And what was the answer?
He wasn't quite ready at that time, and he was more concerned with how the public would look at him because he doesn't have a physical disability.
That you can see, right.
That you can see.
Exactly.
And so he was concerned with that. And I think it took, it was another year before he was finally, he finally accepted it.
So what can you share a little bit about what happened that made him open his eyes?
Can you do that or you want me to?
Tell.
Huh?
You can tell the story.
Okay. We went to our children's school, and it was a parent-teacher night. Child was running out the door, and they hid the glass door, and when they did, my husband and I were outside talking, and he just fell to the ground and just hunkered down.
From the loud noise on the ground?
Right, he heard a loud noise.
Wow.
I don't know if they hit like metal or something, but it was a very loud pop, very loud bang. And he and I had been standing right outside talking, and when it happened, he immediately dropped. And I dropped down with him, and I finished our conversation, and people walked by. And he looked at me, and I said, "Are you ready?" And he said, "Yes."
Gotcha. And yeah, everything's confidential, but we had spoken a little bit too, Wilson. You had mentioned that you had considered suicide a few times.
I had.
And that was another reason you didn't want to go there again.
I didn't. And
Right.
Leroy saved my life on more than one occasion.
Really?
I'm not going to get into detail, but
That's fine. You don't have to.
He's been there for me, and he pulled me out of my phone.
So service dog has saved your life.
It has.
So tell us about the training. When he was already 2 years old when you first called me, and how did it start? We set up the appointment. Tell everybody what happened.
You called me, asked me a few in-depth questions to get to know my personality as well as the dog. You told me you did a home visit,
Right.
just to see how I interacted with Leroy, how Leroy interacted with me.
Right.
One of your concerns was his age, because he was an older pup.
Right.
Almost 2 years old when we started the training. You said he'd be perfect to train as a service dog, and then we started classes.
Yeah. With his basic obedience stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
basic obedience with a larger group at first.
Right. And then we did smaller individual training.
On-site training in different locations.
Yeah. And then here at your home, we did some training too.
We did some training at the house
Yeah.
as well.
So tell everybody, remember that second class? After the second class.
The class, I was ready to throw in the towel.
Yeah. Tell everybody what you asked me after that second class.
I was frustrated because Leroy wasn't training as fast as I thought he should. I wasn't sure about the pace of what it should be, but I felt that maybe because he was too old, he would be harder to train, or I wouldn't be able to train him. So I asked you if it was even worth my time, or if I should find another puppy.
I'll still forget that. What you could have seen, he come up, he put his leg down, he had his hand on his other hand, he said, "Am I wasting my damn time?"
Yeah, it was,
I said, "No, you're not. No, you're not." We just had to, and he was already 2, so we had to undo some things and start from scratch. So overall, was the training hard? It took you about, what, 9-10 months?
Yeah, if that.
To finish up?
Toward the end, it was easy, and it was fun. I got to take Leroy out in public. We did,
Right.
A hardware store and a restaurant, and
Yeah, Lowe's and
a
yeah.
few different places. We
Yeah.
went out and did some shopping. So
So how expensive was the training?
it was very cheap, $0.
I don't want to say
0
cheap.
cents.
I don't want to say cheap.
Very inexpensive.
It's not- there you
it cost
go.
me no money at all.
Right. Yeah. The training. Yeah. For a disabled veteran, there's an honorably discharged veteran plus your disability. There's no charge whatsoever.
Right.
And so that's true. That's a real fact, right?
Right. And
So what all did the program also do for you guys? 'Cause y'all have 4 children.
we do.
You have 4 children. You're disabled.
I'm on a fixed income, so
Right. Exactly.
buying the good food for Leroy is, it's costly. So Jacobs Canine Vet Kit took care of my vet bill for him.
Right.
Got him updated on his shots.
Right.
Took care of the food for him.
His heartworm
His
medication.
heartworm medication.
Yeah. His service dog vest.
His service dog vest as well.
Yeah. Basically anything Leroy needed. If you guys couldn't handle it, we were there.
Right.
And I want you to know that is ongoing, by the way.
Good.
That is ongoing because you did finish the program, you did get your certification. So once you're certified, we're there for you.
Awesome.
So how do you feel now being out in public with Leroy? Are you over that? Who cares what anybody thinks? Or
I'm over that.
Okay.
He's there for me, and he brings a certain level of comfort to me when I'm out in public, and I'm less affected by surprise noises like I was before.
Good.
And
Good.
if I do start to get quiet and start to thinking and get into a depressed state, Leroy somehow senses that, and he'll put his paw on me and get my attention to calm me down, to
Right.
let me know it's going to be okay.
brings you back to reality.
Right.
I remember, Miranda, one night too, you had texted me, and you said, I can't believe this. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And you had said that Leroy had gone to the store without, not Leroy, forgive me, Wilson went to the store without the dog, and he came back and you knew he was in his head kind of a deal.
Right.
And what happened then?
Well, I had noticed that he had ran out the door, and Leroy was at the door just going crazy while Wilson was gone, and he came back. And I don't even remember if that was even, I think that was prior to his completed training.
Yeah, we were still in training.
I think he was
Yes.
still in training.
Yes.
And anyway, he came back, and I opened the door and I saw his face, and the dog, Leroy, just ran to him and just ran up to him, and I just shut the door and let him have their minute. And I guess it was about, 5 minutes later? It wasn't long, it was maybe about 5 minutes later. They come in, and he was like the guy
Himself.
he was before he left.
Do you remember that situation?
I do.
It was at one of those moments?
It was the ride home. I started thinking about stuff. And,
Gotcha. Isn't that crazy? So, I don't want to get too deep or personal, but for myself or others out there, can you try to help us understand what PTSD is about? Because it can come on at any moment, like y'all's story about the sound and things.
PTSD could be a lot of things to a lot of different people. To me, it's a lot of memories that come up and affect my daily life, or have more in the past.
Gotcha.
Anybody who's experienced something traumatic, PTSD is the result. It may not be major, it may not be right away, but when it does hit you, it hits hard.
Gotcha. And it can kill you.
And it can.
Have you noticed a change in your husband since he has a service dog, Miranda?
Yes.
Has it helped him be a better husband, father, everything?
It has. It's helped him be. He's more himself. He spends more time with the kids.
Great.
And I have a better, healthier relationship.
Wonderful.
In the past, he doesn't tell me a lot of what goes on in his head.
That's
Because
okay.
he doesn't want to cloud my mind too. He doesn't want his stuff affecting me.
That's respectful, yeah.
And I understand that. However, I have noticed, just because when he has those days,
Right.
he has Leroy, and Leroy can help him.
Yeah.
And he's more back into, playing with the kids. And
Right.
holding the baby and
Being-
cooking supper and cleaning the kitchen.
Oh
and,
boy.
all that fun stuff, and getting on that honey-do list that I keep him with. But
Yeah, you have your husband back.
I do.
And that's better than before the service dog.
Yes.
Wonderful. I did not know that. That's good to know. Don't feel bad. You're doing the honeydews. We're very proud of you. So is there anything you want to add or suggest to anybody, or say if we have a veteran watching this and he's not sure what to do? Either of you. Any tips for anybody? Because I'll tell you, 95% of the people who contact me, it's wives reaching out for their husband and their family. They say, please help my husband. I don't want my husband to die. He's threatening to kill himself. What can we do? I got chills. I mean, that's happening more often than not.
Don't be ashamed to ask for the help. Don't be embarrassed about needing a service dog or needing any kind of help. Reach out. Try something different. And
Yeah.
this program was something different for me, and it helped me out.
And it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't.
And it was no cost. I'm not going to say cheap.
At no
it's
cost.
not cheap.
I mean, what did I have to lose? You know?
Yeah, I kick you out.
Yeah.
But that did not
I
happen.
followed the rules, so I did all right.
Yeah, he followed the rule. Could you believe it? He followed the rules. And that's true. Speaking of the rules, they weren't that hard.
No, just do my homework with
Right.
Leroy, do our
Right.
training at home, show up to class on time, show up to class ready to learn and
Yeah.
with an open mind, and
Keep you on the same food and
yeah,
to get a healthy dog. Wonderful.
listen to Miss Kathy.
I'm not that bad now. Come on
Not
now.
at all.
I'm not that bad.
But you know your stuff, and that
Well, thank you. So tell me this, does it matter having, I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything like that, but does it matter having a trainer who really cares and gives a damn?
it does. It makes all the difference in the world.
Oh God, yeah.
I would rather train with someone who cares and seems like they want to do more and they want to help people out versus someone who's just trying to collect the money and not worry about you after the training class is over.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you, and you probably can't compare, but try to picture, if you can, the difference between training your own dog versus getting a dog already trained as a quote unquote service dog. How do you think that would work?
I don't know. I'm quite happy with Leroy's performance.
Oh, I am too, absolutely.
And I didn't want another dog in the house.
Right.
I've already got a second dog, and so I really couldn't afford to have another dog on top of the two animals that I had already.
Right.
So being able to train Leroy to be my service dog was great. It was awesome, and to find out that the program helped pick up some of the cost of his bills.
His vet bills and
Great
such.
as well.
Yeah. Now, what I want to add, not every dog can be a service dog. Like your second dog, that ain't gonna be no service dog.
That's probably would not be a good service dog.
No,
Never.
She's a family pet.
Yes. So
But
speaking
we
of
got
that,
her for the kids because when he goes places,
Right.
Leroy goes, and the kids want a dog.
yeah, that's understandable.
So-
I was just saying that because so many people think, well, I have this little dog and it can be a service dog. No.
But it also depends on they have to have that connection.
Right. And if they
you know,
don't
that's
have
like
it,
when I first called you,
Right.
and I told you, I said there, you know, he was triggering on him, and even, you know, I got him at the shelter at 10 weeks old,
Mm-hmm.
and he was trying to get in the shower with him or lay on the mat while he took a shower
But-
to be close to him.
but I have to throw this in there. Even though he was triggering on him, when we first started training, he was running away.
He was.
He was.
He had some serious
was.
behavior problems.
He was.
So even though he triggered on him at home, you still didn't have that bond that training
Right.
made, correct? So now he's not. But so now the big difference that you had the training, he's not running away.
No.
No,
He stays
before
with
the
you.
training, if the door would open and he saw an opportunity, he'd be going down the road to try to find him a girlfriend.
Right. Exactly.
Now he sees the door open, he'll go outside to use the bathroom, but he'll stop and look at me first before he walks out the door to make sure that it's okay that he goes a little further from me.
Right. So the training made a big difference in your bond with him.
It did. It
So,
made it
yeah.
stronger.
It made
Yeah.
the bond stronger.
Oh yeah, and that is the whole key to everything. That's why I want the veteran to train with your dog. Because what if you had a dog you didn't like? What if the dog didn't like you?
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so just because he was triggering doesn't mean he was a perfect dog. We had some work we still had to do.
There's always a little work to do, but
Yeah, and he
it's
mastered
worth
it. And he mastered it. Okay. Anything else you'd suggest to anybody?
Adopt
And
a pup, don't buy a pup.
Oh, adopt the pup if you can. Yeah. If they want a service dog, contact the trainer first.
Right. Check with
First.
the trainer, make sure it's a dog that'll work for public work.
We looked out on, you know,
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So, well, thank y'all so very, very much
Thank
for
you.
everything, and we're here for you. And I know your story is going to help inspire others.
I hope so.
And thank you so much for sharing. So, I don't want to get too deep on this. I don't want to get emotional and start crying. But how does it make you feel, Miranda, knowing that a dog has really helped to save your husband's life and your family?
You know, it really helps me know. I mean, I'm happy to know that that Leroy has helped him in many, many ways.
Right.
You know, because he's reached out and he's gotten help. He's a better dad, a better husband. He and I are better. We can be more of the team that
Right.
we always have been. We're closer.
Right.
And the bond between them it's crazy. And I'm just glad to know that Leroy is there for him.
Gotcha.
You know?
In a way you can't be. And I don't mean that in a negative
Right,
way.
no, I can't. You know,
Yeah.
it's one of those things we were talking about the other night, and a lot of the stuff I don't know about that triggers him.
Yeah, and you'll never know.
And
Yeah.
he doesn't want me to know.
That's understandable.
And
Yeah.
it's like he told me, it's not to be ugly, but he doesn't want it to cloud my mind.
Right.
But to know that, I know he has stuff going on in his head, and you know, the dog helps him, and it can get him back to the family,
Right.
but not only that, but getting back to himself.
Gotcha.
You know.
So you're good bringing him out in public with his vest, and we're all cool.
I am.
Awesome. Well, thank you also too for always being willing to talk to other veterans who might want to enter the program and being there to support them. That's one of my goals too, is I'm trying to make a team of veterans who can be there for each other.
Big network.
Yep, yeah, a network, exactly. Being a sole trainer person, you know, I don't want it to get too big. I don't want it. I want my son's name on a good dog, but I want it to be powerful and I want it to be effective. And I appreciate your willingness to be able to help the other veterans out there, and thank you for your service to us and our country as well.
Thank you for the support.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much for your story. And we're here. You know my phone number.
All right.
Thank you guys.